Welcome to MeatsPad, a platform dedicated to sharing breakthrough knowledge that is accessible to the meats industry. On each episode, we will hear from meat specialists and professionals to talk about numerous topics in meat science, including animal welfare, meat production, meat quality, food safety, and so much more.
Hello, me folks. Welcome back to the MeatsPad podcast. After 1 year, we're back all together again. And great to be this year in Des Moines, Iowa.
Yeah,
Dr. Bass.
Here in the center of the known universe, Des Moines, Iowa. And we are joined with Collette Kaster, the CEO of the American Meat Science Association, our beloved American Meat Science Association. And Collette, tell us a little bit about how special this year's conference is.
I don't even know where to start because there's so many things about this year's conference that are special. First and foremost, it is the 75th anniversary of the Reciprocal Meat Conference. And the other thing special about that is that every time we celebrate a 25-year increment, we've done it at Iowa State. Mm-hmm. And of course, now the conference is so big that we have to have most of it in Des Moines. But still, we made the trek to Iowa State yesterday, which was phenomenal. I can say, speaking for myself, having been to that campus since I was literally in high school because I grew up in Iowa, I can't believe the changes. And they really put on a terrific event last night.
Yep. Well, and for those who are less familiar with the American Meat Science Association and the Reciprocal Meat Conference, there's so many great opportunities, especially for our industry partners that are out there. But this is a chance to bring in the academics, meet with the industry partners and a few government entities. USDA is definitely well represented here this year. For those, again, who have never participated, we really encourage it, especially if you're looking for future employees. We have our career fair here on site, and it's a great opportunity for folks to get involved that way. If you do have a company that's looking to hire a lot of really well-talented individuals, young and aggressive and smart people here that are ready and willing to take on the task. I know that labor is always going to be a challenge in the meat industry, and so we have some really great folks here that are looking for those jobs. As far as the remainder of the program, we did have our keynote speaker and came in and talk about the meat industry market and how strong meat is right now in the grocery stores, in the restaurants. People still definitely want it, as much as there may be an argument against in much of the media. The reality is that that's not true, and there's a lot of great movement for meat. And then we have just an abundance of programming as well as far as research. If you want to get really deep into the research, there's oxidative rancidity type research going on that's being discussed. They don't allow me into that room. I'm not smart enough to handle that, but I do get to participate in some of the discussions around automation and really even improving business practices and building a good culture within your industry operation or in an academic sense. And so am I hitting some of the highlights that are on our agenda, Collette?
I think you're doing a great job. So, besides the groups that Phil mentioned at the very beginning, of course, our student groups. And we've actually been here since Thursday. And so we kicked off with, kind of our opening things from a planning perspective on Thursday night. Student activities began in earnest when the student board joined the big board, as we call it, of the organization. We came together, had dinner, and then the student events kicked off on Saturday. We were out at DMAC at the Iowa Culinary Institute, and the kids put together a whole big Iron Chef competition. They did beef, prepared a bunch of different ways. And the newest activity, which I found quite delicious and visually appealing, is they did charcuterie boards. Oh, wow. So they went into random teams, made charcuterie boards. Yesterday, they were on Quiz Bowl. You have undergraduates who are so smart and so brave, standing up and going against each other. And I kind of played along myself last night during the finals. And like you, I felt like I remembered, like half of what I was taught 30 years ago. But it was super fun. And then we're into the general sessions today, and we'll have, 2 more days of great information and social work.
How many people are we expecting compared to last year? I know. I overheard like almost 900 people.
Over 900 people.
Wow.
And every time we turn around, someone else is registering. I think Deidre is about ready to run around with some kind of like virtual registration application. So last year, of course, coming out of COVID, we feel like we recovered really good numbers, but we're another 300 people here. So we're almost meeting our high, which was set at Colorado State, which who doesn't like to go to Colorado in the summertime, right? So.
Well, that's fantastic, and even more so, this is not just a time to get together with our meat science family, our meat industry family, and it really does feel like a family reunion for those who have never participated. But you get to reconnect with a lot of former colleagues or folks that you're collaborating with regularly, meet new industry connections. I have been doing that, and especially for my day job, connecting students with employees and meeting some really cool entities out there that are aggressively hiring. But it's also a time for celebration. It's a time to recognize folks that have achieved some great milestones in their academic career and in the professional career. And so maybe can you tell us a little bit about the awards night that's coming up tomorrow night?
Yeah, for sure. But before I tell you about the awards, I want to circle back to one thing that you said, and that is we do have even more companies here because we created a category called Supplier Coalition. And Francisco, of course, your company Ultrasource is a member of that. And the Supplier Coalition represents equipment, ingredients, services, and packaging. And so being in Kansas City, you know how many different companies are in Kansas City, and it's been super fun and informative for me to learn what many of those businesses do and all the opportunities that they provide, not just for our student members, but sometimes people choose to move around in their career. And of course, you mentioned automation, and there's just so much of that. But back to your original question to me, which is awards and recognition. It is fantastic to have an organization that you can be recognized within your peers. We start with basically work our way through the ages. We recognize research efforts. We recognize the Quiz Bowl teams we talked about. We recognize young professionals early in their career through the Achievement Awards International. And then we go into really some of our top awards: teaching, research, extension, industry leadership, the AMSA Fellow Awards, which are known as the Signal Service Awards. We have 5 winners of those. Many of them are good friends of mine, and I'm so excited to see them get recognized. And then it all culminates, as you know it, with this time with Dr. Jeff Sable being awarded the R.C. Pollock Award, which is our most prestigious award and will be a recognition of his career so far. And of course, now he's even going on to another role. So we have fantastic members who do a lot of great things.
I cannot stress enough how important this platform is, being the RMC 75th for young grad students. Like, I'm still young, but I don't know. When I used to come as a student 6-7 years ago, and now you see all these new faces and friends that become part of the meat industry community, and I think this is great. And we're talking about that we need qualified people in the meat industry more now than ever. So I think it's a good opportunity for those young students, meat scientists, meat enthusiasts, to visit with folks. Just say hi, and this is myself. Doing this and this in my research. What do you recommend? I don't know. This is a good platform for that.
Networking here at the Reciprocal Meat Conference is top notch. It's an opportunity to just connect with all kinds of different individuals, and we have to be careful because networking is only one letter away from not working. But this is a great venue to be able to do that. And sometimes the programming is so good that it's hard to almost get away from certain things that you want to go participate in to still be able to connect with others, and vice versa. I just caught myself visiting in the hallway with a former colleague and getting caught up on all kinds of different aspects of not just our day work, but also just the meat industry in general and the feel of everything. and knowing that another talk was going on that I really wanted to participate in. But great thing about the Reciprocal Meat conferences, we pretty much record just about everything. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
I was just telling Francisco, I came from the automation session, and I was saying that it was unfortunate that he was doing, you were both doing work in here, but luckily it's recorded because there are a couple of fantastic presentations. And on networking, I just want to mention that I'm a big fan of networking because it is how people learn about not just research, but opportunities. You meet your peers, and people have been missing out on that as we've gone through COVID. So when you work virtually, and I really have worried about that with younger people and middle career people, because the way that you find out about things, make changes, stumble across connections or opportunities is through those casual conversations. It happens way more that way than in formal planned conversations. So I think it's extra important to be able to come back together face to face and have that dialogue.
yeah, you got to build those personal relationships, and this is an opportunity for that, especially for the younger crowd to be able to do that. And so, yeah, so many great things going on. For those who have interest that have maybe never participated in the Reciprocal Meat Conference, you can go to meatscience.org, which is our website for the American Meat Science Association, and see just about everything you need there. Look for the Reciprocal Meat Conference or RMC tabs. And if you want to participate in the career fair, there's an opportunity to do that. Of course, next year, not this year, but you get a chance to do all the networking like we just mentioned. You get access to the membership. If you are a member, you get access to the remainder of the membership. And so anybody that does have questions as far as their operations are concerned, you're more than welcome to write to MeatsPad. But get in front of these folks. Get directly to them and become a member. And you don't have to be a PhD meat scientist to be a member. You just have to have interest and join as a professional member and come and meet all these amazing folks.
Well, thank you for joining us today. I think this is a good start, good kickoff for what is next this afternoon, tomorrow and Wednesday. Those interviews that they'll have some surprises for the audience. And thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you both. Thanks for the work you do with MeatsPad. We're super excited and happy to be partnering with you on MeatsPad. I appreciate all the work you do to highlight the really interesting things that our members do. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Collette.